Hello, this is Heather from Stamps Paper Love. Today I have a scrapbooking process video that I hope inspires you to tell your own stories. If you're interested in more scrapbooking inspiration, be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow the links in the video description to find me on Instagram and Facebook. Today I am doing a 2-page layout, which doesn't happen too often, but I had some larger photos that were going to need a little bit more real estate. So right now I am doing a little bit of mixed media with a one of my favorite stencils, just kind of some really cool swirly elements. And the mixture was some paint that had kind of some pearly stuff in it, and I think some, I don't know, some other kind of texture paste or something to give it a little bit more body. So I kind of just splattered that all over. You can possibly see some pencil lines where I kind of put where the photos are going to go. And, looking at it now, I probably would have arranged the mixed media a little bit differently. I think I end up adding some more into it later off camera, just to kind of frame where the photos and other elements of the layout are. And so now I'm going to start working with the photos. I have 2 group photos of a competitive dance that my daughter did a number of years ago. I'm using the Hocus Pocus collection from Traci Reed Designs, which is a super, super fun Halloween themed collection. This isn't really a Halloween layout, but it worked well with the theme of the dance that they did. The dance was to the song Spell on You, and it was kind of a creepy, emotionally charged performance. So the girls really had to work on making sure that their faces looked incredibly, I don't know, weird and goofy and scary, and just was a really great competitive dance. So this collection, Hocus Pocus, went very well with it. There's a lot of black and purple, which is what their costumes were. Their costumes were just a black bodysuit, and then they had this purple headpiece that you can kind of see in the side photos. So the 2 side photos have my daughter and a friend of hers in it. And so they're kind of the highlighted photos, and then I wanted a couple of those group photos to be present as well. So here I'm just rearranging the title. I had it kind of justified to the right, and then I decided to move it a little bit more to the left. And I just called it Spell on You because that's the name of the dance. The journaling talks about it a little bit, just kind of what I said before, that it was a competitive dance and the girls had a lot of dramatic expressions, and that journaling spot says the moon made me do it on the bottom, which I thought was really kind of cute to go with the idea that they were just kind of making these creepy faces the whole time and doing their best to convince you that they put a spell on you and now you're theirs. So that was definitely a fun experience for her. So now I'm just playing with some of the embellishment pieces from the sticker pack. There are a lot of really great, creepy little potions, and there's a spell book and this little eye. I'm going to add on some flowers later, and it's just putting all those little finishing touches to make it a little bit more interesting and tell the story a little bit more. There's a tag in it that I'm working with right now, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing off screen, but that's going to show up on the layout. And the tag says, "The magic isn't outside of you, darling, you are the magic." And that's just, true about all these dancers. They really make these stories come alive and through their movements and expressions, and it always, as a parent, felt really magical to watch your kid do do what they love and do it in a really impressive and awesome way as well. So here I'm just fussing again with that tag. I decided to put some foam on the back of it to make it pop up a little bit. So I'm just dotting on the liquid glue to make that foam stick to the page. I added a little circle from the collection that says squad goals. Definitely when your girl is a competitive dancer, they are a very tight group and they definitely have that squad vibe. And it's a really awesome thing, and she's all grown up now and onto other things, but it was a pretty amazing experience for her while it was happening. So if any of you have dancers, I'm sure you're really cherishing and enjoying that as well. And again, I'm just adding on a few more little stickers and bits and things. So I add some stars on, and that eye disappeared, so I must be about to add that back in some point. The little spell book. I think I end up adding a couple more stars and some flowers, and just tying it all up. I think so in the next little bit I'm gonna do a fun little tearing thing. Now that I'm watching me put that little bottle on, I end up putting it kind of above the spell book, but I kind of think I like it better below the spell book. It's funny how when you watch your video of you putting things together, the things that you decide maybe you should have done a little differently. I don't know. I put it up at the top, but I kind of liked it down in that bottom corner. Oh well, it's all good. And then I just add another star here. And I think at this point I'm kind of thinking about, the fact that I've got two little clusters here, and typically I like to have three. So I'm just kind of thinking about how I could do that, where I'm going to put it. And you'll see coming up here pretty quick what I decide to do. I'm a big fan of taking a part of the paper and tearing it and making a little cutout. So that's what I'm going to do at the top of the page here. I'm just going to tear out a little chunk of this black cardstock, and then I'm going to back it with another paper from the Hocus Pocus collection. I mean, so far I've used the stars and the stars and the moon, and then there's this word-based pattern paper that had Spell on You as part of the script. So I just wanted to kind of repeat that little thought for this dance. So I'm going to attach that to the back here, and then there'll be a little bit of that pattern peeking through, and then I'll add some more embellishments up in the corner there to round off that three embellishments cluster kind of idea. So yeah, I just have to trim a few things off this page. The actual those vertical oriented photos, they kind of spill off the page a little bit because I should have printed the group photos a little bit smaller than I did, but I didn't want to reprint them, so I decided just to go with it, and I didn't want to cover up the girls that are at the very ends of the photos either, so I just ended up letting that mat hang off the page, and I end up cutting it off and so that it sticks to the 12 by 12 size. And I don't love the way that it looks that way, and if I were going to do the layout again, I would definitely take more care in sizing those group photos a little bit smaller. They were kind of a weird rectangular shape. They didn't really fit the aspect ratios very well, so I don't know, it just wasn't the most ideal thing. I love this floral with the spider web on it that I'm playing with here. I end up putting it down at the bottom, and unfortunately you don't really see much of that spider web, so I guess I wish I would have put it somewhere where you can see more of that little spider web to give it that creepy feel. But the florals in this are really, really very pretty. I like the color combinations. It's kind of a pale pale purple, and I'm not a huge purple fan generally, but obviously it worked well with this layout, and the costumes in the background has that little purple tone to it. But the florals have purple and kind of a peachy color, and I want to say it's a gray. It's kind of hard. I guess it's just black and white maybe. And so I really liked adding those on. So I add another floral up here, and I think I'm going to put a little word bit up there, something about being a wee bit wicked or something like that. That's going to end up at the top. And I think we're pretty much to the end. I'm going to add in some like trim into the tag in a little bit. And that took me in the Wayback Machine. I found some, I think it was called Twistel or something like that, way back in the day when it first came out, and it's just kind of a twisty, crepey material, that paper material that I'm going to twist through the top of that tag. Off camera, I add some little finishing touches with some enamel stars. Those you will see in the still shots at the end. And, there's not much more to it. So I really, appreciate you joining me today. I hope you found the video inspiring. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the future videos. I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. So if you've got any questions about the layout or about the Hocus Pocus collection, send them my way. Traci Reed Designs is definitely one of my favorite sources for materials to print at home and use on my layouts. And she has a plethora of different designs and seasonal items, and just great overall products that I really, really enjoy using. So definitely check out her website if you haven't before. So here I go. I think this is kind of the last floral that I'm adding in that corner there. And then we're going to add the trim for the tag. And that pretty much will wrap up the video. So this is, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm trimming off the little things that overlap. So I'd already trimmed off the one on the other side, and I'm trimming the right side of the layout, and there were some florals that needed some trimming, and I think I left that leaf up at the top so it could just kind of poke out because I didn't want to cut it off because it's just cute. I like it. And that is the extent of the trimming. So here's where I add on that little twistel bit, and I just kind of wrap it through the hole a couple of times on the tag, and then just kind of arrange it. For the photos, I had it kind of covering up the words on the tag, so I ended up eventually rearranging it a little bit so it doesn't cover up any of the words. But that is the end result, and here come the stills. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back again for another layout at some point in time.